Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray, brought to you proudly by Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency, Barton Power Sports, Sportsman's Warehouse, and Best Care Home Services.
Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray with our intrepid host and special guest, Ron Wong.
How do you spell that?
How about
I was
that?
prepared. Intrepid.
Intrepid.
Our intrepid
I've
host,
never been
Larry
called
Ray.
intrepid host before.
There you go. Now it's all new, man.
Well, we're trying to cover.
You got
for
me
you,
around
Larry.
here.
Now you
I know,
got
I'm trying to help
people.
you out.
People are going to Google right now out there. What did he mean by intrepid?
for sure.
Wasn't that the name of some boat that was in the Second World War? USS Intrepid. I don't know. John Gordon, thank you. My voice is so I'm going to turn this. We're supposed to talk to Tommy Cauley. The toad must be in hiding someplace over at Greer's Ferry. And
well, the fish are biting over there at Greer's Ferry real well.
He's
Striper
probably
biting are good.
Really good, I've heard. And
Absolutely. And, there are a lot of places on that lake that doesn't have very good cell service. And
I told him
that happens.
He can get on Sugarloaf Mountain and talk to us. I know it's a long climb for the toad. I don't think he can get up to the top of that mountain. But
I can't either, so I can't say anything about that.
Well, we got two guys here that can always talk, and we got Greg if we need it. Because
Greg can talk well.
Greg can talk, and he can fill in if we need to. But we were talking about fishing, and then I've got to make a real hint here. I won't just make a hint, but the July issue of the Mid-South Hunting and Fishing magazine will it's going to be really good, as it always is, but we've got one story in particular that I will throw out at you that our good friend John Gordon from Avery was over there with our good friend Richard Sims at Chattanooga on Lake Chickamauga, the Tennessee River, and did a little catfishing, caught some, I guess they're okay. Catfish. No.
They're all
you
right.
smoked them.
Larry,
Tell our listeners. And he's written about this for the next issue of the magazine.
I did. And
First fishing story ever for John Gordon.
It's true.
Yeah,
all my other
awesome.
stuff is all hunting background, but I tell you what, I really enjoyed that trip, and I tell you what, anybody that wants to go catch, have a possibility of catching a 50, 60-pound, blue catfish. I mean,
Yeah.
Richard Sims is the guy. I mean, he
Richard Sims, Simms, with Scenic
City Fishing Charters.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And if you want to go catch bass or everything else, he can hook you up. He's got two other partners that fish, for other species. But he specializes in big cats, and we caught
And
30-pound blue, a 31-pound blue, 25-pound flathead. We caught 29 catfish in all one day, and the smallest was probably 5 pounds. I mean, it just,
did you get a workout?
I did, and I tell you, the great thing that's really cool about fishing for those big cats is just you have no idea what's going to be on the end of the line.
What's coming up?
Right?
Yeah.
It could be a 5-pounder, it could be a 50-pounder. You just never know, and it's a tremendous amount of fun, and the scenery is beautiful.
Yeah.
You're right there coming through downtown Chattanooga. We fished below the dam and down the river, and it was a really, really great experience.
And the big one you caught, that one you were struggling to hold up, that was yours, right?
Yes, it was. 31 pounds with that fish weighed. It looked like it swallowed a basketball.
It did. It wasn't really long.
No, it was.
It was fat.
Caught a 30-pounder the next day that was longer.
You fished twice. You fished 2 days?
Yeah.
Wow.
Did. I did.
And what exercise did you recommend before anybody goes over there? Golly, that is
a lot of 12-ounce curls maybe, something like that. But
right.
We also caught spotted bass and smallmouth too as well. I mean, it was a lot of fun. And like I say, Richard's a tremendous guide. He knows that place as well as anybody.
And that's a beautiful part of the Tennessee River, too.
It is.
For anybody that's never been there. But, like John said, that's right now Lake Chickamauga is the hottest bass lake in the state of Tennessee. If you want to go catch the possibility of getting a double-digit bass, largemouth bass, that's where you want to go, Lake Chickamauga. And, of course, the catfishing is always phenomenal in the Tennessee River chain, and especially in those parts because they have such a great shad population. And that's what those catfish eat.
And that's catch and release. I mean, 'cause you're not you didn't.
Well, if you want to keep them, I mean, Richard he'll load up the live well, if you want to, but it's just
with 34-pounders.
Those big ones he generally releases, but a lot of the 5 to 10 pound fish. If you want to load up the boat,
catfish fillets, you can do it, and we'll try to. When John is with us again, he's every second Saturday of the month, maybe in July. Let's see if we can't hook up with Richard at the same time. He'll probably be on the water, getting ready to go to the water that morning, but we'll try to hook up with Richard because, like I said, that John has written a wonderful story about the experience over there, and like Ron said, that's Big Bass Place and a lot of other things. But I'm wondering right now, Ron, this water temperature, while we have a chance here, this water temperature has heated up.
It's now in the mid-80s.
Yeah, mid-80s.
86.
Yeah.
Going up into the upper 80s, 87 degrees in a lot of our waters. The Tennessee River system is still in the low 80s, high 70s, but it's heating up.
Is that are we on normal? I mean, it's always hot at the golf tournament. But
it's that time of the year where the surface temperature is going to heat up anywhere you go, and it does a couple of things for the fish. Not all of them go deep. In the Tennessee River, they will go to the ledges of the rivers and the creeks, where you can catch them in the deeper water. However, in a lot of your lakes, that a lot of us fish, like your horseshoe lakes or any of the oxbows, you don't always have to go deep.
You don't
go to cover. Flooded vegetation, lily pads.
Lily pads, like at Horseshoe now.
Yeah.
I bet Ronnie Tice is still catching fish
now.
Well,
believe it or not, he's not fishing deep, but he's fishing a different way.
He's in the docks.
One of the things he's doing is he's fishing shade now.
Shade.
Which is the docks.
I don't blame.
Okay?
Yeah, I don't blame that.
And so, anywhere you go, whether it's a residential lake, a private lake, or even the oxbow lakes that have willow trees in them and that kind of stuff, you can still catch a lot of fish, brim, crappie, bass, shallow.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily have to go deep. The Sardis and your flood control reservoirs, you're going to have to go a little bit deeper. The fish right now are about anywhere from 8 to 12 feet deep. That's where your thermocline is. Thermocline, for those of you that don't know, it's where the warm water meets the cold water.
That's where everybody caught their fish at the St. Jude Bass Classic.
Absolutely.
Ron was asking
our man Larry Ray was the MC there.
On that. Yeah, it was all that 8 to 10 to 12 feet.
That's right, because that's where the thermocline is. And what will happen is that summer goes on, it'll go deeper.
Okay.
And then once we start getting cooler weather, then it'll start to rise again. But there again, there's several things that you have to kind of look at is, is there any flooded vegetation or shade of any kind around? Because, even like Pickwick, everybody says, well, you got to go deep to catch them. Well, if you just go fish around boat docks, you're going to catch fish because there's the shade. And that's what you have to do. And so for those of you that are able to, and, private lakes are a little bit different, or even our city park lakes.
Like the Fish and
Johnson
Rodeo lakes. These lakes today.
Them, they don't have any of that at all.
No.
And so those fish just kind of roam around.
Yeah.
And you just need to be at the right place at the right time on one of those little lakes, and you'll catch them.
That's why they have all them catfish out there.
Yeah.
And I know that, John, in your experience with Richard, as I read your story and everything, he supplies everything. I mean, he's got it for you right there. You're using big rods. Deep sea fishing, just about, because you're dealing with some really giant fish. And I know right now I got some other friends that tell me they're catching catfish at Pickwick and Kentucky Lake and places along that line where the water's running. And but it's a real experience. So if free fishing day today, folks, is your chance to go wherever you want to go without a license. Free is one of those deals, and if you're 15 and under, you can go through the end of next week. And, I can remember some of these little ponds, you'll wonder, well, do they ever get cool once the summertime gets here? And, Ron, you're talking about Kentucky Lake and places like that in our next 2 minutes. I'd like to know from your perspective, a lot of folks say you can't catch crappie when it's hot.
Not true.
Not true. Yeah. And why?
Crappie are very prolific eaters right now because of post-spawn.
Okay.
And then all of the little crappie, they're starting to get big enough to roam around also. But like, we're talking about earlier, our good friend Ronnie Tice right now is using the shade of lily pads and 4 feet of water catching them.
4 feet. Okay. Yeah.
Or he's going to the docks and where there's a lot of shade.
Yeah. And
he's just shooting a bait up underneath a little jig up underneath the dock and reeling it back and catching them. They're at Sardis Lake right now, I understand. They're trolling if you're spider rig about 10 to 12 feet deep, very slow with a double minnow rig, a Caps and Coleman double minnow rig.
Okay.
Or troll a crankbait like a Strike King Series 3, 10 to 12 feet deep, and you're going to catch 100 crappie a day with 10 or 12 of them, maybe even a limit of 15 that you can keep. Yeah. Catch a lot of fish.
A lot of fish. All right, everybody. We're going to take a break right now on Outdoors with Larry Ray, and then come right back.